Hey y'all, I'm back. I know I've been gone, but I'm back now. I'm back in the building. We're about to get started. It's 74 more days before Halloween, so we're about to get started. Let me go to my save. How y'all like my mask? We'll get some more of these masks while we count down, trying to make this more interesting. Hold on. So we got 4 today, a little short one, showing y'all that I'm back.
Just last night, I was like, I want to go to New Orleans because I'm Haitian American and we have roots there because, Revolution, Louisiana Purchase. I want to go. I want to eat beignets. But I'm scared. You grow up Haitian American and Christian. Like, there's stuff you see in the Bible, La Bible, and then there's stuff that you hear from your parents or you've experienced and seen yourself. If you have questions, you can look at my pinned ghost story above. And so there's conflicting information, right, or beliefs rather. So I know New Orleans has Haitian roots, French roots, slave roots, and there is definitely black magic and white magic. Fine. There are cultures that we don't need to understand, and there are cultures that just because you don't understand, you should respect. Correct. But I just went on TikTok this morning, and they're talking about there's a thing in New Orleans where things disappear and reappear. People disappear and reappear. Restaurants disappear and reappear. So can someone make me a map or something so I know where to be and where not to be? Because I just want to go to New Orleans and I just want to feel the vibe and I want to have a beignet and a fantastic cafe and put my feet where some of my ancestors planted their feet. But I also would like my feet to not disappear. So please, anybody, please help. And I will continue researching this 3 a.m. vanishing and get back to you.
Facts. Help us, show us, especially if they got portals, disappear, reappear. What is going on? Born and raised, you be more than welcome. Girl, once someone give you a list or where to find out where not to go, please make a video. I've been waiting to come. Say, how creepy is this? I went there and had an amazing time. I don't know which area things disappear, but I don't want to know. Say, NOLA is amazing. I did it solo back in 2018. Food was great. Culture is rich and so much to do. You need to go. You'll be fine. Just stay out of people's business. Now, that's true. Say, love New Orleans. You can feel there's so much untold truth. You say, I have been twice, and I would say an African American woman is very spiritual. I'm telling you, when I physically put my feet on that ground, a massive surge of energy went through my body. So, that's her trying to figure out where to go.
So there's a freaky phenomenon that happens in New Orleans where...
Hey, good morning. So I just saw this video and I was like, oh, I have a story about the last time I went to New Orleans. I just woke up, so I'm not going to show my face on camera. But anyway, last time I went, I visited the French Quarter, like most people do. And if you've ever seen a map of the French Quarter, it's kind of like a big square. So, it should be relatively easy to know where you're going. Like, if you know one certain restaurant is in one corner, then you obviously head straight into that corner. So there was one street in particular. I want to say it was maybe near the middle left-ish of the map. I'm not really sure, but for some reason I kept stumbling upon this street, and it just gave me a particular feeling. I was always anxious. I don't really know, it didn't even look menacing or anything. It looked like a normal street in New Orleans. I went through it once and I was like, I feel sick to my stomach. Maybe it was, you know, the third mimosa of the day that was affecting me. So I veered right and just kept going straight and straight and straight. And what do you know it? It's the same exact street that I had veered right from. And I thought that was weird, but I thought, well, the architecture all kind of looks the same. Even though it was the same colored building, it was like gray and then black railings and certain flower pots. And I'm like, okay, that was strange. I didn't really pay attention to it, but I got that sick feeling in my stomach again. So I was like, man, either the mimosas are affecting me or something. I don't know. So I went straight and I just continued away from that street. Kept walking. I walked about like 8 more minutes or so. And what do you know? The same building, the same everything was in front of me. And at that point, I got really scared. And I remember calling my dad, and I was not crying at that point because I was like, Dad, there's something weird. Like, I was actually just checking up on him, saying, hey, my vacation's going good. How about you? But I was using that as a, I don't know, just, I was feeling so scared at the moment because I was like, I could have sworn I went straight, and I'm still back at this specific street. That was making me feel so uncomfortable.
That's crazy.
So I got off the phone with him. I kind of explained what happened, and he was like, well, just put on your GPS, even though you know it's a giant square. Just go ahead, put your GPS on, and just go along with it. I was like, all right. So I hung up with my dad. I had finally left that area of New Orleans because I kept walking straight like 15 minutes. And the third time, I went back on that street again without turning around or anything. And the creepiest part of this whole story is the fact that I made sure I put on the GPS, I put one of the casinos, which is right on the waterfront. And I put it on my GPS and I'm thinking, okay, well, this will lead me directly. It was telling me to make a right and just continue straight until we reached the waterfront. Or me, I should say. And I'm getting like goosebumps just thinking about this moment. I put on the GPS. I made a right. I went as far away from that street as possible. And when I did make that right, and you could clearly see on the map, it's like a straight shot to the casino and the waterfront. It kept saying recalculating, and it kept wanting to bring me to that specific street. Oh my God, it was so scary. I had to turn it off. At that point, I got tears because I was by myself, and I'm like, oh my God, why is the street so scary to me? But, yeah, New Orleans was crazy. Also, I will be back this weekend.
So there's a freaky phenomenon that happens in New Orleans.
Let's get in the chat. This happened to me in Ohio. Crazy story. Thank you for sharing. Hey, did you finally get out? Did you stop? She said, yeah. Hello. I muted my phone after I kept saying make a U-turn and over and over in the lines in the map, ignoring the reroute. Never went back again. What was the name of the street? Similar things happened to me. I have also, with my story, my phone vibrate scared the out of me. Good story for her. I think that's a good story.
Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable, but is entirely true.
So I'm Haitian, and I have a lot of stories about paranormal activity, but this one in particular really got me. Back in 2019, I did a road trip, and one of the stops on my road trip was New Orleans. I rented out this Airbnb. It's called Melrose Mansion. Upon arrival, the place looked really nice. It was kind of difficult to figure out where to park, so I parked on the side of the street and then went in to talk to the attendant. As soon as I walk in, I noticed that the attendant that was there had a black eye. Like, I'm talking black and blue, looked like someone really did a number on him. Prior to this, I was looking at the reviews and someone did mention that the person had a black eye, and I'm going to insert right here.
It look like it's choppy. Hold on.
So he checks me in and goes and shows me around the mansion. The place is really nice. Like, the ambiance and just the infrastructure of the place was really, really nice. But one thing that I noticed was that there were pictures of different people on the wall, and it was like black and white. I personally can sense energy. Like, ever since I was a little girl, I could always sense stuff, and I could always hear things and see things. So as we're walking around, like, I can feel when the energy is shifting. And I'm just like, I start to ask him, is this place haunted? He was just like, no, not, I mean, people do say things that they've seen things, but I'm not aware of that, so I wouldn't know. He shows me to the room, and the first thing that he does is he checks the bed. Unbeknownst to me, the bed has termites, so he's just like, okay, well, you can't stay here, so I'm going to upgrade you to another room. The room that I was upgraded to was a lot more spacious, and it came with a hot tub. Walking around the room, and I'm noticing that the rooms also have pictures of people, and they're black and white. At this time, it's summertime in New Orleans, so it's really hot, and I decide to go in the bathtub. As I'm in the bathtub, I can feel the water start pulling me down. Like, the water is forcing me to go underwater. So that freaked me out, and I decided to stop and then just take a shower instead. Day turned into night. I ordered some dinner, and I think I got DoorDash. So I eat my food, everything is good, everything is fine, and I start to go to sleep. Girl, let me tell you, I woke up to the bag that I ordered dinner from moving, rustling, tussling. And I'm like, what the world? So as I'm getting clarity in my eyes, I look up, the reflection on the TV, there's a black figure hovering over me.
I'm scared of you. Oh no, I'm scared of you.
At this point, I'm like,
hell no. Come on, wait to the no. Come on.
So I'm freaking out. I don't want to sleep in here anymore. The energy is just too much for me. Like, I'm starting to see things. I'm starting to hear things. Like, I needs to go.
Gotta go.
I was really thinking of sleeping in my car, but I was only staying for one night, and I was just like, okay, let me just stay here for that night and be gone tomorrow. I did my little prayer.
Blood of Jesus.
And the rest of the night was smooth sailing. Nothing happened. The next morning, I hurry up, get my stuff, check out. But the attendant is different. It was a different person there. It's like not finding my reservation. He didn't even know I was in the room. He was just so surprised that someone was staying there and was just like, I'll just check you out and have a good day. I'm thinking to myself, like, how you not know I was there the whole time? Anyways, that's all that I have. But if you want any more ghost stories, I have a lot to tell.
Okay, let's get into the comments. Say you look like Kyla Pratt. Very beautiful. She do. Boosie though. LOL. That was funny. Not the bag movie. I would be freaking out. I would have been freaking out too. Okay. This is the last one I got for y'all.
So I am back. It has been a minute since I have posted about my spooky stories, but I have been going through a whole lot, and life has just been crazy. But this particular story I have been waiting to post because I needed to find the actual photo so that I could actually have receipts to show you guys what I actually went through. Okay, so this story is about the time when I stayed in New Orleans, and my son had an imaginary friend, and she decided that she was gonna ride my back, and my daughter actually caught the picture of her on my back.
What?
Okay, so I moved to New Orleans in 2011, and when I moved down there, my son was 3 years old at the time, and he used to always play by himself. Like, every day he was in the room just casually playing by himself. At the time, I had 2 boys and 2 girls. Okay, so I must add that when we moved to New Orleans, we moved down with my child's brother. We moved in their 2-bedroom apartment. It was him and his fiance because we didn't have plans on staying with them for too long. We just needed a little stable place before we were able to get on our feet because it was such a sudden move. I went down to New Orleans for my birthday. I loved it. I came back to Atlanta within a week. I had all of my stuff packed in my apartment and I was moving back down to New Orleans because that's where I wanted to be. It was the life. Now, at that time, it didn't dawn on me that my son would always play by himself. I mean, I was a loner as a child also, and I used to play by myself all the time, and my imagination was humongous, so I didn't want to stop him from whatever he had going on with his creation and his own little reality. I didn't want to dim down his light, so if he was playing, talking to his imaginary friend, it never dawned on me it was a spirit, like, stop, don't allow your children to do that.
Great.
So fast forward 2 months into us being down in New Orleans, I was working at Burger King. I was an assistant manager at the Burger King, and so this particular day, I'm going to bring on the day, and then I'm going to have to rewind the story, so make sure you pay attention. Okay, so on this particular day, I remember it like it was yesterday because the chain of events that happened on that day was just mind-blowing for me. It was life-changing. It was just something unimaginable. It was January 28th, 2012. Normal day, got up 4:30 that morning to get dressed, get ready, go to work by 5 a.m. Everything was cool. I got to my store. I opened my store. About 5:30, that's when my employees start coming in. It was 2 girls. I cannot remember their name, but Daniel was was the only guy. He was a flamboyant guy or whatever, but Daniel is who I remember because he is the main topic of the story.
Okay.
So they come in, we get everything put together, get all of our breakfast cooked, get everything put together for our shift to run smoothly for that morning. And we got done pretty early, so we just sat down in the lobby to chill until our customers started rolling in or whatever. So all the employees get there. My crew was like, we was cool. We was calm. Everybody got along. We talked about everything versus our job versus our families. Like, we just talked about everything. So we get all of the breakfast and everything squared away, and we just chilling. So everybody is chilling, and next thing you know, on my sister, y'all, God rest her soul right now, we literally hear horns in the sky. Like, the sound was just like everybody's heart dropped to their ass, and we all looking out the window to the sky, just honestly waiting on God to come rushing through. Like, it was literally sounding of a trumpet. Like, January 28th, 2012, the sounds of the trumpet, we heard it, and thank God that they were there at that time to witness it, because nobody would have believed me if I was there by myself.
Right.
So we literally all mind boggled at this point. Like, we are all just shocked. Like, we all rushed to the dining room, and we just at a loss for words because of what we just heard. Like, we had to go and regroup and get ourselves together because we all walking in circles and trying to figure out what's going on, praying, and Lord knows, just trying to gather ourselves at that moment. So we all just ended up in the dining room at the tables just talking and just mind blown by what had happened. And Daniel was our friend who actually practiced Wicca. So he takes his little tarot cards out and he's like, oh, I want to do some palm readings on you guys. Now, mind you, I'm 2 months into New Orleans. I've been raised Christian. I don't deal with any witchcraft. I don't get into it. You're not reading no palms. You're not tarot carding me. You're not doing any of that kind of stuff to me. So I watched while he did the 2 girls that was there with me. So Daniel reads the tarot cards for one of the girls that was in there, and it was to the point where this girl was crying because she was saying that everything that he was saying was true, and it was just crazy or whatever. So after he read her, he stopped and he was like, you guys, my mom told me to tell my friend something, and you guys are literally the only friends that I have, so this message gotta be for one of y'all. So Daniel proceeds to say that the message that his mom had given him the night before was to let one of his friends know that it was a little girl that was mad because one of her friends were getting ready to get took away. And he was explaining how this little girl was angry. It was a spirit, and that if one of us, which was me and the other two girls in the job, if we didn't go through a cleansing, but he was saying that if we didn't go through a cleansing, that the spirit would attach itself to us, and Lord knows what kind of omen it would bring towards us, because she was angry at the time. And so that's when I'm looking crazy once all over again, because the night before, my oldest daughter was taking a picture of my youngest daughter with my cell phone. I was in the background doing hair for my baby father's niece. I was doing her hair, and my daughter snaps a picture of my youngest daughter, which you see me in the background, and you see the spirit of the little girl on my back. Oh, wow. Now, when my daughter was taking a photo, none of us were aware of it until that night. My baby father was going through my phone, and he's like, Carmen, who's on your back? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he shows me the picture, and I'm like, I'm doing hair. We zoom in. So when you zoom in, you see the little girl on my back. You see her 2 ponytails in her head. You see her purple dress. I had on a burgundy shirt at the time, and you see nothing else. No features, no arms, no anything else, but you see the silhouette of the little girl on my back. So now fast forward to January 28th. Daniel is telling me what his mom said, and like I said, I'm looking crazy because at this time, it finally brought up my baby father telling me about the little girl on my back. And also at this time, we had found our place and we were getting ready to move. And so when Daniel spoke of what he spoke of, I got scared all over again. And that's when I started telling him about the picture that my daughter took, and that what me and my baby father had caught in the picture the night before. And so I showed him the picture, and he's like, oh my God. He calls his mom, and he's like, Mom, it's Carmen. We got to do a cleansing for her. He sends her the picture, and he's like, is this what you're talking about? And Mom is like, yes. And she immediately went into some type of language and saying that I'm cleansed and I'm washed. Whole moral of the story is that the little girl was on my back, and she attached herself to me because she was mad that I was getting ready to move taking her friend away, which was my son that she played with every day. So after the mom did her cleansing prayer and release for me, it was just crazy how the whole day was playing out. I was just crazy, just astounded by all of the craziness that was going on with the spirits, and it was just mind-blowing. And so got off work, told my baby father what had happened with David and the horns and the mother having to pray for me and all of this stuff. So fast forward, now we're in the bed. About 3-something in the morning, the following morning, we get a call from my baby father's auntie, and she's like, get outside right now. Now, all of his family stayed literally around the block from each other. So we had an auntie on this block, grandmother on this block, another aunt on this block, brother on this block. Like, the family was very close. So his aunt is like 3:20 in the morning. She's like, you get outside right now. We jump up and throw some clothes on and go running outside. Tell me why my son is outside walking down the street saying that his friend told him to follow her to come play. My son was 3 years old, outside in the middle of the night with no clothes on. This little boy had on underwear that were turned backwards, and he was walking down the street because his friend told him to come and play. She was trying to lead my baby to destruction. She was mad at me because we was leaving, and that's just what it is. So here's the picture.
Oh my God. I gotta pause it so I can see. What the heck? Y'all see that? Oh, it said, girl, what the heck? It said, off topic. You are stunning. The energy is bright. That's a wild story, and it's crazy you got a picture of that. Why is spiritual protection important? Wow, protection is definitely important. Can we see the picture? She's so pretty. Yes. Oh my God. Y'all see this picture? Crazy.
And also, I may add in, the cleansing that Daniel's mom did not work, because this little girl did end up following us around for a little while longer. Last time I believe my son had an encounter with her, we had moved back to Atlanta in 2014, and my son, by this time he was 6 or 7, somewhere around in that age, and we were in our house and all the kids were playing outside. My son disappears. He goes wandering through the freaking woods. We going crazy trying to find him. He finally comes out saying that his friend wanted him to come follow her and play.
Oh.
When she took my son in the woods, she ended up giving him she ended up giving my son a mushroom to eat, and crazily, he ate it. When we found him, he came out. He told us that he was in the woods because his friend wanted them to go play on a hike or whatever the case may have been. He told me that she had gave him a mushroom to eat. Then literally right after that, my son fell so sick. So sick. At the hospital, his nurse was a Jamaican lady, and I told her what had happened, and he told her the exact same story about the girl telling him to come in the woods to eat the mushroom, and she prayed a prayer over him, and we haven't dealt with that little girl ever since. Enjoy.
That's
okay,
crazy,
y'all.
That's crazy. But I came up on here. I gotta go, and this mask hurt my face. I'll see y'all tomorrow.